live. We are live. We are live. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you all so much for your patience. Thank you all for being here. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy terrific Tuesday and talk about it Tuesday. Okay. Thank you for those donuts. Miss Treetop is lighting up the gifts. Oh, let me give you some cheers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, girl. I appreciate all that love and support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So tonight we are talking about our credit score and the differences between the FICO score and the Vantage score. Now a lot of us didn't even know that it was two type of scores. Heck, I didn't even know that it was two type of scores until I started diving into the credit score and what it mean and all the different aspects of it. But last night I was live over on TT and we talked more about the five pillars, the five different areas that makes up the FICO score. It's so important that you know what makes up your score so you know how to improve your score because believe it or not, your credit is a financial report card. Your credit is almost like a report card of how you handle your money. It's a report card of how you manage your money. Okay. It's a report card of how you steward your money. So if your credit score, your FICO score is maybe in the 300, 400, 500s, even 600s, that could be some issues in your financial matters. It could be showing that you either, one of these areas we're going to talk about, which is your payment history, you either not paying your bills on time or you are paying bills late or you just not paying them at all, whatever the case may be. Now, payment history is 35% of your credit score. Now that is the highest percentage. So that lets us know that payment history is very, 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 very important. Okay. If you have a lot of credit card debt, one of the things that you want to make sure is if you have got to try to pay your bills on time, if not early. Last night I gave you some tips on how to pay these pay your credit cards early. If you want a 2 week, every 2 week cycle that you get paid, you want to make sure that you are paying that credit card bill 2 weeks ahead of time. Go ahead and pay it. If it's due the first of the month and you know you getting paid that second week of the second pay of the week the month before, honey, go ahead and pay that thing. Don't wait till the day of to pay your credit card bills, okay? Because 35% is a lot. It's what they call the heavy hitter. That is the one that's hitting your credit score the highest. So, payment history is so important that you pay your bills on time. The second thing that's most important in your FICO score is your credit utilization. I'll be back. I have to go see Nike. Okay, go ahead, Miss Treetop. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you coming through, girl. Thank you so much. And so the second part is credit utilization. Credit utilization is 30%. 30% of your FICO score. Now, credit utilization is one of those words we ain't never heard of. I had never heard of utilization. What that mean? That means how much of your limit you have used. For example, if you got $1,000 credit card limit, 30% of $1,000 is $300. So that means you should only keep a balance of $300 or less, $300 or less on that particular card. That makes your credit utilization score good. If you have a balance of more than $300 on $1,000 limit, then that's going to make your credit utilization high and that's going to bring your FICO score down. Okay. It's a lot of ups and downs in here. Look, a lot of highs and lows, valleys and mountains and things to climb. But listen, we got to learn this stuff. This is part of financial literacy. This is part of knowing where your money is going. This is a part of fixing your finances so that you can get into a financial position of wealth building, of leaving a legacy for your family, of getting out of this credit card debt once and for all. And if you have any desires of home ownership down the road for yourself or for your children or whatever, this is the stuff you need to know, because it's going to help you get to the point where you can get into the home of your dreams or even get into the car of your dreams. Okay, because your credit holds a lot of weight in every single area of your finances, every single area. The third thing is your credit age. It's about 15% of your FICO score. And that's just how long you've had credit. How long have you had a particular credit card? The older accounts shows stability. So a lot of times when people are trying to pay off debt, they'll pay off their debt and then they'll close the card. That's not a good idea. It's better just to zero out the debt, go ahead and pay it off, cut up the card so you won't be tempted to use it, but leave it open. Leave it open on your credit report. Hey, Nix, thank you for coming through again. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, girl. Thank you so much for coming back. Nix is my young debater. I don't know where you from. I am doing well. How you doing tonight? She was with me last night and I appreciate it. She was hanging out listening to the credit information. And this young lady is a debater, so I already know she's very intelligent. So I appreciate you coming back. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for loving the video. I appreciate those hearts. Make sure that you are tapping on that screen. Everybody tap on that screen. And if you can, grab that heart at the top and definitely share the video out. Share the video out with your family and your friends so we can get more people in here learning about this credit situation, about the credit score. Now, the fourth thing in your credit, your FICO score, is your credit mix. 10%. 10% of your score is your credit mix. Credit mix is simply a blend of cards and loans that show that you can handle different types of debt. So, for instance, you might just have one major credit card, which is either a Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and then you may have a car loan, or you may have a student loan, or you may have if you do have a mortgage, maybe a mortgage loan. And I think nowadays, if you pay rent, if you go to your people that you pay rent and ask them to report to your credit bureau, that'll be a different blend of credit, because that just shows that you are making rental payments on time, that you can handle, and that looks very good for mortgage companies. Mortgage loans, if they see you paying your rent on time for a long period of time, then that's a good thing. So that's a good credit mix, and that's 10%. And then the other 10% of your FICO score is new credit. These are inquiries, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not applying for new credit all the time, okay? You want to limit that, because the more credit inquiries you have, the the less your credit score will go down. It decreases your credit score if they see a lot of inquiries. And so you want to make sure you limit that. And one tip that I gave is, if you're in the market for a brand new car and you go to the car lot without financing already, then they will try to get financing for you, and then they'll run your credit through 5 to 6 to 7 different car loan places, and that's 5 to 6 to 7 hits on your credit. Okay, so that don't look very good. So you could go in there with a decent credit score, but when you come out, it may have dropped, 30, 40, 50 points, because the lender has tried to inquiry hit your credit with a lot of inquiry. So just be real careful with that. I tell people, if they are in the market for a new car, go ahead and try to get the financing yourself. Go through your own bank, go through a credit union, and try to get the car financing yourself. Then just walk into the car dealership with a check in hand, and you ain't got to worry about that now. Okay? So tonight we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about Vantage Score. Vantage Score. Now this is something that I didn't even know about until I started studying credit and how credit works. I actually went through the program that I'm affiliated with now to help clean up my own credit, and then that's where I learned this information about credit scores because I just thought it was a FICO score. That's the only thing I had ever heard of is the FICO score. But come to find out, there is a Vantage score. Now, the Vantage score was actually was also something that was created by the credit bureaus, which is the Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Okay, um, but what they what they use it for though is something totally different. Um, it's more of a educational score. Let me see something here, and it has some breakdowns too of how it looks at your credit. So, again, for the Vantage score, the number one thing that it looks at is your payment history. Just like the FICO score is 35%, the Vantage score is 40% of the score. Your payment history is 40% of the score. Now, it tracks whether you pay your bills on time, even if you have one single 30-day late payment, it could cause a drastic drop in the Vantage score. Because the Vantage score is more of a a cosmetic. Let's just say the FICO is more of the number. It's a number. It's detail. It's analytical. Whereas the Vantage score is more of education. It's an educational score. It just shows uh, how you're living. It's still like a report card of sorts, but it's more of very more sensitive to what is really going on. Like it goes deeper into the report and what the report says about you and your financial habits. Okay, does that make sense? Hold on one second, let me check my comments as we are talking here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's comments. Hold on one second. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. How's everybody doing over here? Okay, look like we're good over here. Okay, hopefully I am live. I know I am good over here on TT. Let me check on the other platforms and see if I'm live. Make sure that you're coming through loud and clear, girls. So listen, if y'all are not following me on the other platform, I'm also on FB at Lisa Stringer Bailey. Follow me over there. I'm also on YT at Manage Your Money. No, at Money Management. Yeah, look like I am live. So thank you so much for your support and your follow. I'm gonna go ahead and share this out. Y'all share the video out as you are waiting on me. I'm gonna go ahead and share it again as we're taking a little commercial break. Let's take a commercial break. Y'all share the video out to your family and your friends. Make sure that they know that I am on talking about these different types of credit scoring. It could be some information that they didn't even know about. Because I'm be honest, I didn't know about it either until I also went through the program that I'm now affiliated with and that I share with people that need the service. I went through the same program myself and learned these different things that I didn't really know. Thank you, Nix, for reposting. Thank you so much for reposting. Thank you so much for sharing the live with your friends. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. So, look like we are good over on FB, so that's good. I'm going to share it one more time with my group. I do have a group over here as well. Let's see where we at. My group is Manage Your Money, Ma'am. Manage Your Money, Ma'am. So if you are a female and you're interested in group activities, going deeper, getting more information in my group, I just share more financial, in-depth financial information, more tips, more tricks, more resources that's available to you to get your finances all the way together. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to it. The Vantage score. The Vantage score. One of the number one things that go into the Vantage score, we just said it's the same as the FICO score, which is your payment history. So important. It makes up 40%, 40% of that Vantage score. So you want to make sure, if nothing else, you can start fixing. That's one of the things you can really start concentrating and making a priority is to fix, is to pay your bills on time, to make sure you're paying them before time. Okay. I know it's another trick out there that I had heard that if you pay your credit card bills before the statement dates. So with this, you got to know your statement date, your bill due dates, and then it's another date on there, the cutoff date. I don't know. But if you pay it before the statement date, then the balance that you had the month before is what goes onto your credit report instead of the balance after you make a payment. See, that's that deep stuff right there. But those are the kind of things that you can learn once you if you're in a credit restoration program. So the next thing that the Vantage score look at is highly influential, and that is the age and the type of credit. The age and the type. So just like with the FICO score, they look at how long you've had credit, right? The age of the credit. Is it brand new? Is it 5 years old? Is it 10 years old? And then it's combined it here with the type of credit, which we talked about in the FICO section, which is your open-ended credit, your closed-end credit, your credit cards, your car loans, your mortgage loans, and any other type of loans, student loans that you may have. That is different type of credit. And so that makes up 21% of the Vantage score. Now, this combines the length of your credit history and the diversity or the mix of your accounts. It takes your credit cards versus your auto loans and mortgages. So they kind of put the age and the type together of how long you've had a car loan and how long you've had the credit card loan. So that counts for 21%. Now, the next one is the percentage of credit limit used. So that's that utilization again. That's that utilization. And for the Vantage score, the utilization is 20%. 20% of that score goes to utilization. So it's keeping your balances low relative to your total credit limit is essential for a high score. So listen, if you in the mindset or you in the space where you want to increase your credit limit, you trying to get out of the 500s and you trying to get to the 600s, honey, listen, you got to start thinking about the credit history, uh how often, if you're paying on time, if you're not paying on time, and then you got to think about those utilization numbers. Remember, for the FICO, it was keeping it below 30%, keeping it below 30% of your credit limit. Now, for the Vantage score, that is 11% of that Vantage score. Okay. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind. It looks at the total amount of debt that you owe, total balances compared to your debt. That's 11%. That's 11%. And the utilization is 20%. Okay, utilization is 20. That's keeping your balances low, and then your total balances of your debt is 11%. That's looking at, oh my gosh, it's looking at everything. That's why I say this Vantage score goes deeper. It goes really deeper into what's going on your credit report. And then it's got 5%, looks at your recent credit behavior and your inquiries. So again, a lot of inquiries, hard pulls on your credit, uh, going to car dealerships and letting them pull your credit 4 and 5 times, that's not good for your credit score. So you want to make sure that you're tracking how many new accounts that you're having, that you recently opened, and how many hard pulls are on your report. So you want to keep that to a minimum. Do not keep applying and applying and applying for different credit. My rule of thumb is, if if you get denied 2 times, then it may be it's definitely an issue with your credit. And so that's where you really have to take some time to stop applying and just look at your credit. Pull your credit report from all 3 credit bureaus. You get them for free every year. You get one report every year for free. Look at it, see what's on it, because it could be some erroneous things on there. Lots of times when you're getting denied for credit and you don't understand why, it could be an error. It could be somebody that has hacked into your account who's impersonating you and they're using your credit. Or it could be a card that's been on there for 10 years and it never fell off. And so you have to go in there and look and write a letter and send an inquiry and call them up and say, listen, this is old. It needs to come off. Or it could be the fact that you got 4 and 5 addresses on there. Okay, that's one thing that I had to do. I had to clear out some old addresses on my credit report. I had an address from when I was in the military back in Germany. Okay, and I was like, that's ridiculous. That's been over 20 years ago. So you have to request that type of stuff be cleared off of your report to keep it clean. And so it's many different things that you can do, but just limit how many times you pull your credit. Stop pulling it after two. If you've been denied 2 times, honey, it's something wrong, and you need to just look at your credit and see what you can get fixed. Okay, go ahead and get it fixed, and then try to get the loan or whatever it is after a few months of cleaning up your credit. And then the last thing that the Vantage score looks at is available credit. Available credit is 3%. Now, this looks at the amount of unused credit that you have available. So that's again looking at your utilization. So if you're keeping your utilization low, then you're going to have a lot more credit available, and that's going to look good. Greetings, Miss Lisa. Bye. Okay, good night, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you. Good night, good night, good night. You have a good rest of your evening. So, yeah, so that is the difference right there between the FICO score and the Vantage score. Now, let's see what else it says here. Here's some educational facts. Now, did you know, unlike the FICO score, that the Vantage score can generate a score for a new builder in as little as 1 month, whereas the FICO requires 6 months? Interesting. So, for those who's just starting out, like maybe our young people, like Nix, and Nix just left. She's a young adult, still a teenager that's just starting out. They can build up or generate a score, a Vantage score, within 1 month of starting to build their credit. And so that's good. So a lot of times if you're a young adult, say 18, 19, 20, and maybe you're ready to purchase a home, you want to get a townhouse or a condo, and you don't have no credit, right? So what you want to do is start your credit journey. Get your secure credit card, or get on your parents card as an authorized user, and within 1 month you can pull the Vantage score and see what that's looking at like, and then you can ask whoever you're trying to get your loan from, then they take a look at your Vantage score, whereas the FICO score can take up to 6 months. So that's good to know. Okay. Also, it says the Vantage score is a very sensitive to utilization. Okay. If you pay down a large credit card balance, then you will often see that your Vantage score will jump up, will increase faster than your FICO score. So if you're on that path of paying down debt, right, and you want to, you're trying to get into a home or you're trying to make a purchase or something, a lot of times you can ask them to look at your Vantage score. Say, make sure you check the Vantage score, and compare it to the FICO score. So that's good information to know as well. So let's see what else we got here. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all let me know in the chat if you have any questions for me. If you happen to catch this on the replay and you're not here live, you can definitely contact me, connect with me in the DM. Also, if you check my BIO, I do have a link there for my calendar, so you can get on my calendar. And over here, I have my calendar at bit.ly.com/money moment. Hello, Minister Davenport. How are you doing this evening? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, I was just talking about credit tonight, the different types of credit and the difference between the FICO score and the Vantage score. Thank you, Mrs. Treetop, for coming back through and loving on the video. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Okay, so let me see. What other end points was they making about the Vantage score? Uh oh, I'm trying to do double duty here. Let's see. Um, So just remember, that's one good thing about the Vantage score is it reacts faster to changes. So whatever changes that you're making, if you're on a journey to get your credit fixed, to restore your credit, to get things off your credit, to pay down your debt, whatever it is, you want to make sure you check your Vantage score first. And if it's a higher score than the FICO, it's going to react quicker to the changes, right? And so that's a good thing. So that's just information to know when you're sitting in front of a loan officer and they're telling you that your FICO score is such and such and such. Well, you can come back with, well, what about my Vantage score? Did you check that? Okay, let's check that out and see how it's moving. So that's good. Again, it says the time required to generate a score. FICO, it normally takes 6 months, whereas with the Vantage score, it can generate a score within 1 month. So that's good to know, especially for my younger generation for that's just starting out building their credit, or for anybody that's trying to rebuild credit, right? If you're trying to rebuild your credit for whatever reason, maybe from a bankruptcy or just having low scores or whatever you're trying to rebuild, just remember that Vantage score will help you rebuild quicker. So then it says another difference is how they treat your late payments. Now, with the FICO score, the late payments is forgiving over time. So it's going to take a long time for those late payments to fall off your FICO score. But then it's saying here that the Vantage score is more sensitive to recent activity. So if you're making late payments most recently, that can make your Vantage score go down. So again, your payment history is the most important in both of them. With FICO, it was 35%. With the Vantage score, it's 40% of your score. So that's why I say if you on a journey of your credit repair, credit restoration, look at your payments. Get to a place where you can make your payments on time, if nothing but the minimum. Get on a snowball strategy of paying off your credit. You want to pay off the smallest balance first. Pay that first, and pay the rest of them. Just pay the minimum on the rest of them, but pay them on time. Even pay them early if you can. Get in the habit of paying credit card debt early. And once you get that smallest one paid off, you get that smallest one paid off, then all the money that you was paying to the smallest one, you put toward the next one, the next highest one, the next smallest one that you have on your list, and you just knock them out one by one like that. And that's called the snowball effect. Okay. Now, um, so this was just an example here of the FICO score and the Vantage score. And let's say, for instance, your Vantage score would could be 700. A 700. Say you got a 700 Vantage score, and then you apply for a loan. When the lender pulls your credit, it shows that your FICO is 660, right? But what's going to happen is you're either going to get denied or you're going to get a higher interest rate because of these numbers, the 660 in the FICO and the 700 in the Vantage score. And so here it says too, a simple way that you can explain this or understand it is your Vantage score is what you see, and your FICO score is what lenders see. Okay, so the Vantage score is what you see, and the FICO score is what lenders see. That's interesting. So I would definitely, the lenders should be able to see it too. But like I said, I'm very fresh with this Vantage score thing. But it's good to know. It's just information that's good to know. Um, so that you know where you stand. You got to know where you stand. That's one of the number one things that I talk about in my financial focus framework coaching program is being aware. You got to face what's going on. That's the F in focus. Is face it. You got to face what's going on in your money, and then your credit is definitely an area you got to look at. You got to look at it. You got to face it. You got to tackle it. You got to be aware of what these words means. You got to be aware of how your activity, the things that you're doing, how that's affecting your credit and how it's affecting your not only your FICO score but now your Vantage score. Now that you know about that and the differences and the things that you can do to fix it and make those things move in a upward position in an upward way so that you can get to the things that you're trying to get to your dreams, your desires, the things that you planning on having, the things that you want to buy, the places you want to go. You might want to travel. One thing I tell my clients is we have to not only think about now. We can't only think about now. We got to think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And these are the things we need to be teaching our children, teaching our young adults, because I can remember when I was in my 20s and in my 30s. I wasn't thinking about when I'm in my 60s, but now I wish I had. I wish I had somebody that was constantly saying to me, you need to be thinking about what you're going to be doing in your 60s, okay? Because, honey, them years start to flying by. Seemed like as soon as I hit 30, honey, it was a blink. It was a blink of the eye, and I was 50, okay? So this time ain't no joke. We don't have time. Hey, Sadie Boo, how you doing? Exactly. I wish somebody had told me, girl. How about it? Thank you so much for coming through. Hey, sis. Hey, I appreciate you. I think this is the first time you ever caught me live, ain't it? Thank you so much for coming in. As you come in, make sure you tapping that screen, girl, and share out the video. Share out the video with your family and your friends. Honey, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you coming through. So yeah, I was actually just wrapping up. I'm wrapping up because I was talking about the credit score, the different types of credit score, your FICO score, the difference between your FICO score and your Vantage score, and the percentages and all the things that go into the scoring. So I'll definitely drop some clips on my page. So if you missed it here, you can catch some clips. I always like to get some good clips out there for the highlights. But definitely, if it's something that you want to work on, if you want to work on your credit, if you want to fix your credit, if you want to restore your credit, if you want to look at your credit, if you got some things on there and you need some help with sending letters to your creditors, you trying to get some stuff removed, then let me know. Let me know, because I have a solution for that. I have a very good program that I use to clean up my own credit that will help you get your credit clean cleaned up and fixed, and then so you can start seeing your score go up, and you can get to a financial position where you can get anything you want. You can get the best interest rates, you can get the lowest interest rates, you can get in the best house, you can get in dream car you want, you can get new credit cards, you can get into that Amex, honey, if that's what you're trying to do, and travel all over the world with it. Whatever your heart and your desire is, you can have it. You can have it, but it starts with good credit, okay? It starts with good credit. Credit is almost like it's the foundation of your financial house, okay? It seriously is. And if your credit is good, then everything else gonna fall into place because yeah, you have advantages that other people don't have. Sadie said, I think so. Yes, let me share this. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you sharing it out. I appreciate you sharing it out. Thank you so much. Are you live, Sadie, today? Was you live today? I love coming in your lives, girl. You be wearing them clothes. Sadie is are you a TikTok shop affiliate, or what's the difference between because I got a bag here, so I know the difference, but I can't think of the name. But I don't model it and stuff like you do. But I love your modeling lives. You're so fashionable. And oh, Sadie also has a magazine. What is it called, Sadie? The woman. Girl, don't get me the line. The woman behind the magazine. Sadie, if you still here, girl, put it in the chat. Put your magazine in the chat. Because if you're a businesswoman and you want to get into the magazine, honey, go on and let us know. Let Sadie know. Connect with Sadie. And let me pin her up here. Connect with her and follow her, and you'll find, there it is, MTWBTB magazine. Behind the magazine, woman business. I'm trying to figure out what them acronyms mean. Meet the woman behind the business magazine. Is that it, Sadie? Meet the woman behind the business magazine. I think I got that right. I'm trying to pin your comment. There we go. Exactly. Okay. Let me see if you answered my question. You might done rolled on out of here. All right, but yeah, I'm getting ready to close out actually because I done been on here for a good hot. How long I been on here? But I thank y'all for hanging out here with me. I'm gonna be live again for sure on Thursday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I do some pop-ups. Woohoo! Thank you for the hat and mustache, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Miss Tree Tot girl. Thank you, girl, for that hat and mustache. I appreciate you, Miss Treetop, coming through with all the love in that gift gallery. I appreciate you, girl. You doing that, honey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Treetop done reached the level 14. Yay! Let me see, girl, how you add the sticker. Look at that. Congratulations, Miss Treetop. She done reached the level 14 in the room. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming through here, girl. Leveling up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Girl, I was just saying too, I gotta get my music in here. I gotta get me one of them little music boxes so we can celebrate stuff. But listen, y'all also follow me on the other platforms. I'm on FB at Lisa Stringer Bailey and Triple M Money Management Matters. I'm on YT at Money Management Matters. So I am multi-streaming. So I am going to actually go ahead and shut it down over here. Thank y'all so much for joining me on this terrific Let's Talk About It Thursday. And did y'all catch the Bible verse? The Bible verse for the day. Let me give y'all that. I think I told it to you earlier. But let me give it to you again. Proverbs 22 and 7. Proverbs 22 and 7 for the NIV says, the rich rule over the poor. The rich people, the rich rule over the poor. Now, who you want to be? You want to be rich? You want to be poor? Okay, and because, and then it goes on to say, and this is about referencing to credit, the borrower is slave to the lender. Okay, so if you're in a lot of credit card debt, if you're in a lot of credit card debt, then you may be feeling like you are a slave. Okay, because you got to constantly make sure you pay them bills. You got to pay that bar. You got to pay that lender. Okay, it's a sad situation. But like I was saying, we got good credit and bad credit. Okay, if your good credit is for a purchase of a home, your car, land, business, real estate, that's good credit. Now you're gonna have to borrow, which that's good. You have to borrow sometime, but you don't want to be a slave to it. If it's something that's appreciating, if it's something that's gonna give you a return on your investment, if it's something that you're gonna build equity in, like your home, your business, your real estate, then yeah, that's good credit. Okay, and you're not really being a slave, because what you're doing is building something. You're building something that you can pass on to your children. You're building something of wealth. You're building assets, right? Now, if you just got credit card debt, just store credit card, or you got debt because you want to go on a shopping spree, or you got debt because you're paying for things, your everyday living things with a credit card, then that's not good debt. That's bad debt, because everything you're buying with it is stuff that you're using up. You're just consuming it, and it's not bringing you no return on investment. Okay, it's not bringing you no equity. So we just want to keep that in mind as we are thinking about our credit, as we're thinking about fixing our credit. We're thinking about starting new credit, rebuilding credit. As we're rebuilding, just make sure we're getting credit that we can get a return on investment, that's going to be good credit, that's going to give us something in return. Okay, and so just keep that in mind, that we want to make sure that we are not the poor. Okay, that we are going to be those that are rich, and no one is going to rule over us, because once we know better, we do better. Look, honey, you just get on out of here with that craziness. Oh my gosh, some people ain't got nothing better to do. Okay, Tuesday, Miss Treetop says, okay, good night, Miss Treetop. I'll see you Thursday, girl. Thursday, I'll be back Thursday. I'm actually going to go try to go live Wednesday, too, because I got to catch up from last week. I didn't do nothing last week. I didn't do nothing last week. I didn't do no lives last week, because I was preparing to travel, and so I got to catch up. Okay. So I think Anna checked all these comments. Okay, yeah. Thursday for sure at 9:15. Tomorrow night I might try to jump in about 9 tomorrow, because I got a class and some Zoom calls and things for tomorrow night. All right, honey. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening. And until next time, y'all have a blessed night sleep.